Well, the album is called "Fight for My Soul." When did you decide that this was going to be the title of the album?
Uh, Sort of right at the last moment, which is usually when I end up naming the records. But I always say that I'm not going to call it, name it after one of the songs on the record, but I always end up doing that anyway. And because I try to come up with some other name, but I just never can do it. So, but I thought that "Fight for My Soul" was a good way to sum up the sentiment of the record. It's just kind of like, I feel like the album, if it could be summed up just like lyrically, it's just about life stuff that you go through. Struggles that I have, or things I've seen in life that I want to talk about, or just day-to-day stuff that probably everybody goes through.
So, are they autobiographical, or can they be about something you see happening as well?
Both, yeah. But yeah, pretty much the entire record is autobiographical. It's about stuff I've felt at some point or been through.
Did you have a point in your life where you felt you had to fight for your own soul?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Still?
Yeah, from time to time. From time to time, and I guess it sounds dramatic, fight for my soul, but it's just, for me, it has always been a challenge to stay focused on the things that are important in my life, and try to honor those things and stay balanced. And there's always stuff out here on the road that can distract you. Drugs, alcohol, things like that those have typically been the things that have derailed me in the past. And but I've had a pretty good track record now so far, and but those things are still out there, and they always will be. And that's one of the things one of the struggles for me. But hopefully somebody listening to the album, can listen to these songs, and maybe it means something different for them, and they can relate to it just as much as I do.
Well, I wrote down some lyrics, and I think it's about what you just mentioned now, but I think it's from Seasons. Sorry, my darling, it's all that I can do to keep from destroying what's left of me and you. Unfortunately, you have chosen a man upon whose sin has the upper hand. So is that how you still feel, that there's always this temptation?
Yeah, that's like a glimpse of like a bottom of the barrel moment, in my life. Yeah, the guy's saying, apologizing, sorry you fell in love with this guy who's like constantly going through stuff, and you have to. And yeah, that has been true in the past with my wife and I. Where she's like, usually the one to pull me out of whatever problem I'm going through, or whatever sort of funk I'm in at the time. She's the one, rescuing me out of it. And so it's kind of an homage to her.
Well, a lot of a couple songs deal with relationships. Are these all written with your wife in mind?
Some of them on the record are. Some of them are, it sounds like it's a relationship, but maybe it's trying to express something else, and the relationship is just the metaphor for that.
Can you give me an example?
But yeah, I hate defining the songs too much, and the only reason is because I always feel like for instance, James Taylor is one of my favorite, if not my favorite songwriter. And there's some of his songs that, in my mind and in my heart, they mean something to me. And I feel like if I asked him what they meant, he would say something different, and it would ruin my life. So, not that anybody's that attached to these songs, but I like to let them sort of just be what they are, you know.
Well, does
But-
this happen to you if you listen to previous songs of yours as well, where the main meaning might change or something?
Not necessarily, but I do. When writing the song, I try to step back and look at it from maybe the point of view of somebody else looking at it, and you know, usually try to make sure that it could be looked at from at least a couple different directions and still mean something.
Well, final question. I think you also said that this is the album that you could be most honest with yourself, or along those lines, and that was something you couldn't do on previous recordings. And how important was it for you to become an independent artist? Sorry.
Well, it certainly taught me a lot, you know, making this record on my own, so to speak, just, and all that means is just like, you know, being the record label, I guess, paying for the record and sort of deciding all the logistics for the making of the record was really different for me. A little bit more stressful, and but fortunately, I work with wonderful people who, sorry, there's a bug up there, who really know what they're doing and, you know, are constantly, you know, keeping me on the right track with all of that stuff. So I've got a really wonderful team of folks helping out, and so I'm very confident in them, and I'm glad I have them, because I would be, I'd probably still be making this record, you know, if it wasn't for them. So.
Okay. Thank you a lot for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.